All right, guys, Darren from FBA Elite, and welcome back to another video. So in this week's video, we're going to be talking about VAT and how that impacts things as an Amazon seller. There have been lots of changes to VAT and Amazon changes over the past few years. So there's a lot of advice out there. I made a video about this topic 4 or 5 years ago that is now out of date. So I wanted to make an up-to-date video that covers all of the Brexit changes and all of the VAT exemption changes that have just recently happened, so that if you're getting into Amazon FBA, or if you already sell on Amazon FBA, you can make sure you're doing things correctly, because I'm seeing a lot of sellers get this wrong and they're messing up their profit margins and they're making a lot less money than they realize, and they're spending out a lot more on fees than they realize as well. So I've got 3 slides to go through. The first slide is just a quick recap of how VAT works. The second slide is going to focus on Amazon VAT and import VAT, so you know what you're getting into. And then the third slide is a template you can use for VAT exemption on Amazon. So VAT overview. There are 2 types of VAT that you need to be aware of. Number 1 is input VAT, and this is the VAT that you pay on your purchases on your expenses. So if you buy something and it's got VAT included, that is your input VAT, and you can only claim back that VAT if you are VAT registered. You also have output VAT, which is charged on the sale price. So whatever price you're selling on Amazon will include output VAT if you are a VAT registered seller. If you're a new seller and you're not VAT registered, you do not need to charge output VAT as part of your sale price. I'm now going to show you quickly how to calculate or work out the VAT element of a product, because it's very, very simple, but a lot of people do get this wrong. So up first, if you want to add VAT to a product, so let's say, for example, you're selling a product at £10 and you want to find out how much you'd need to charge if you were applying VAT to this product, you would times it by 1.2, and you know you'll be selling at the VAT price. So that's £10 plus £2 of VAT gives you £12. Now, if you know the price you're actually selling the product at and you want to remove the VAT to find out how much VAT should be included, simply divide it by 6. And that will tell you that there's £2 of VAT built into that price. So those are the very simple calculations you can use to either add VAT or remove VAT from a price. Now, when do you actually need to register for VAT? Well, if you're a UK resident, it applies when your turnover reaches £90,000 per any 12-month rolling period. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, I'm recording this at the end of 2024, this threshold may have increased, so go away and check what that is at the time of watching this video. However, if you're a non-UK resident, you need to become VAT registered as soon as you start selling in the UK. If you're outside the UK and you hold inventory in an Amazon fulfillment center in the UK, you need to become VAT registered day 1. And also, if you're a UK seller selling in other European countries, any country you sell into, you'll need to become VAT registered in those countries day 1 as well. Anywhere where inventory is going to be held in a fulfillment center in that country, you need to become VAT registered. If you want to find the VAT rate for any particular product, if you don't believe it's the standard 20%, you can use the government website, which is gov.uk/trade-tariff, and you can look it up pretty much any product on there to find out the import VAT rate for that product. So that is the overview of what VAT is. Now, how does this apply to being an Amazon seller? How do Amazon charge VAT? What do they charge VAT on? And also, how does it impact import VAT as well? So let's start with Amazon VAT. Amazon charges VAT on all of their fees, and Amazon have an awful lot of fees. So some examples here, you've got the referral fee, fulfillment fee, account fee, storage fee, coupon fee, sponsored ads, PPC, etc. So they charge a lot of fees, and there's VAT to be paid on all of those fees. Now, as a new seller, and this is where a lot of people are confused at the moment, it used to be possible to declare VAT exemption to Amazon and avoid paying VAT on all of those fees, with the exception of your sponsored ads, your PPC. The reason for this is all of these fees were invoiced by Amazon Luxembourg. And because of the way VAT was set up with the EU after Brexit, we could avoid having to pay VAT on these fees by telling Amazon that we were VAT exempt. Now, we still had to pay VAT on our sponsored ads, as that was always invoiced by Amazon UK, whereas these fees were always invoiced by Amazon Luxembourg. So what has changed recently? Well, since the 1st of August 2024, this is no longer the case, and you'll pay VAT on all Amazon fees, as Amazon now invoice all fees from a UK address. So they're no longer invoicing from Amazon Luxembourg, they are invoicing from Amazon UK. And the VAT on the fees can only be reclaimed if you're VAT registered. So you need to include these in your profit calculations as a new seller. The last thing you want to do is run your profit calculations and you haven't added VAT to all of the fees that you're seeing on Amazon, and then you end up making less money than you're expecting to. However, do not register for VAT until you hit the threshold, as output VAT will be greater than the reclaimed input VAT. So don't become VAT registered early just to be able to claim back the VAT on Amazon fees, as you will then have to start charging output VAT on your sale price. And the output VAT on your sale price is always going to be larger than the input VAT you can claim back by becoming VAT registered. So that is why I recommend people hold off till the absolute last minute. Only register for VAT when you absolutely have to. Now, it's still worth declaring your VAT status to Amazon so you can activate automatic business invoicing and avoid IDR, which is invoice defect rate. So previously, we'd declare our VAT status to Amazon. And I think it's important to clear up, this is just a terminology issue. When we were declaring to Amazon that we were VAT exempt, we weren't really VAT exempt. What we weren't required to be VAT registered. So you might see people using different terminology, but the majority of Amazon seller support only understand VAT exempt, so that's why we use that terminology. Now, we may not be able to be exempt from paying Amazon VAT fees any longer, but we still need to tell Amazon that we're not required to be VAT registered so that we can activate automatic business invoicing. So Amazon have a requirement that anytime you receive an order from a business customer, you have to provide an invoice within 24 hours. Now, you don't want to be doing that manually, so you need to activate automatic business invoicing. And the only way you can do that is by declaring your VAT status first. And on the next slide, I've got a template that you guys can use to contact Amazon. And then once they've agreed your VAT status, you'll be able to opt in to automatic business invoicing. And then you'll be able to avoid any issues with your invoice defect rate. So moving on to import VAT, as this is another common question I get about selling on Amazon. When do you pay import VAT? How much is it? Who do you pay it to? All of those types of things, which shipping method to use. I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. The most popular shipping terms you're probably going to hear when speaking to suppliers are DDP, EXW, and FOB. Now, these all mean slightly different things, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to group them up. You've got DDP, and then I'm going to group EXW and FOB together. So DDP, if your supplier quotes you a DDP cost, they are giving you an all-inclusive cost. DDP stands for delivery duty paid. So that cost includes the cost of the goods, the shipping cost, any insurance related to the shipment. You've then got the customs duty and the VAT all included in that one cost. So you're basically paying for everything in advance to the supplier. Now, this is often a good option for new sellers, as you can't claim back that VAT anyway. And often suppliers can be very, very competitive. There are two things that you need to be aware of. Number one, make sure the supplier isn't under declaring the value of the shipment. We see some suppliers do this as it cuts down their customs duty and VAT, and they can undercut the competition. And number two, that VAT is not reclaimable. So if you are VAT registered, often DDP is not the best option. We've then got EXW and FOB. Now, these you pay the VAT at a different stage. So you pay a cost to the supplier for the cost of the goods. And if it's FOB, which is free on board, the supplier will get the goods to the nearest port. If it's EXW, the supplier will literally just make the goods, and then it's your responsibility to arrange for a freight forwarder to go and get those goods from the supplier, get them to the port, and then get them to the UK. But from a VAT perspective, you will pay it at the same time. You will usually pay the VAT when the goods arrive or are close to arriving at a UK port, and then your freight forwarder will invoice you for the VAT. So that is the difference between DDP and EXW FOB. Instead of paying the VAT to the supplier and you can't claim it back with EXW or FOB, you pay the VAT separately, and then you can claim it back if you are VAT registered. Now, if you want to see the calculation you can use to work out the VAT on a potential import, this is what you do. You take the cost of goods, so that is the EXW or the FOB cost that the supplier has given you, add on the shipping cost plus any insurance related to that shipment, then you add the customs duty, and then you times it by 0.2, which is 20% VAT rate, and that will give you your import VAT total. So you pay import VAT on the total, the cost of goods, the shipping, and the customs duty. You then pay 20% on that. So you're basically paying tax on a tax, or you're paying 20% on the customs duty as well. And as I mentioned earlier, new sellers often use DDP until they hit the VAT threshold, as it keeps things simple. and then they switch to FOB or EXW as they can then reclaim the VAT. Now, VAT registered sellers can use PVA, which is postponed VAT accounting, which is a new thing since Brexit. And this allows you to avoid actually having to pay out that import VAT and then reclaiming it. So instead of having your shipment, the goods arrive at a UK port and then you spend a few £1,000s on VAT with a freight forwarder, and then in your quarterly VAT return, you claim that money back. You just use PVA accounting, so postponed VAT accounting, and then you just declare it in the quarter. So you never actually pay out that VAT. You just put it on the VAT return. Your accountant can do this for you, so you don't use that cash flow. And that will really, really help with your cash flow because you don't have to pay the VAT out of your account and then claim it back at a later date. Now, just a final thing on this slide that's worth mentioning, as a lot of people do wonder why this happens. If you're ordering samples on Alibaba and the total of that sample is below £135, then Alibaba will charge VAT on that sample cost. It's just due to the regulations that we've got. Is that any transaction below £135, it is the responsibility of the OMP, which is the online marketplace, for them to collect the VAT. So that is what Alibaba are doing. For orders above £135, if you're placing a bulk order, that is not Alibaba's responsibility, and you'll be paying the VAT either via DDP to the supplier, or if you're using EXW or FOB, you'll be paying it via your freight forwarder that way instead. But I just wanted to mention that, as that is a question that does come up a lot. Now, when you do become VAT registered, you can enter your VAT number into Alibaba, and then you won't have to pay VAT on samples. So this is the VAT exemption template you can use to contact seller support so that hopefully they can accept your VAT status and then allow you to activate automatic business invoicing. So hi, I am a UK resident selling on the Amazon UK marketplace, operating as business name. The business operates as either a limited company or a sole trader. Delete as appropriate. I've attached our certificate of incorporation if you're a limited company, or your UTR number if you're a sole trader. And our annual turnover is currently below £90,000 VAT, or whatever the threshold is at the time of you watching this video. So we are not required to be VAT registered. I would like to register our business as VAT exempt. Like I say, that's just a terminology issue, but they will understand what it means. Many thanks, name and business name. And then Amazon should contact you to confirm that, and then you should be able to go into Seller Central and activate automatic business invoicing. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you just make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, make sure you check the pinned top comment for a link to the FBA Elite course and also the latest Helium 10 discount codes. What I'm going to do now is pop up a video showing you the top 3 product research methods to use to find products on Amazon, and I'll see you guys over there.